Alright, so welcome back again. So today that is day 22 left. So so we're gonna have to do in this lab. So the DevOps team established a new key repository last week, which remains unused at present. So the repository is not still had to be used. However, the Nautilus application development team now requires a copy of this repository on the storage server and the Strato DC. So follow the provided details to clone the repository. So the repository to be cloned is located at this directory opt and it to be as.git. So clone this repository to the usr src kodekloudrepos repos directory. So perform these tasks using the Natasha user and ensure that no modifications are made to the repository or existing directories, such as changing permissions or making unauthorized alterations. So we're gonna copy the repository on storage server. So how do we do that? So we go to the storage server, right? So sh. So storage server name is here is Natasha. Alright, so I will copy its password and we're trying to access ssh and ata sha Natasha at st or c1. Sorry, yeah, c1. I'm gonna say yes and paste the password. So let me check this repository using ls-la opt news.git. So in that repository you will find that some files are existing right there. So alright, so how do we clone this repository to the new directory using how to clone that to there? So this is fresh, so how to clone. So I will copy this line. So how to clone opt news.git to the, yeah, so we find like that. So you will see is the answer. First of all, we can go to the target parent directory using cd. So alright, so we use that command line. So cd user cooklogs. So alright, so now we are in the cooklogs repos directory. So now we clone this opt news.git directory. So I will check it out and then I will use git clone. Alright, so warning, you appear to be cloned an empty repository join, but that repository is kind of like an empty repository, but that's just a warning, it's nothing actually. So and the second method you can use git clone opt news.git, and this is the source repository and this is the destination directory usr src kodekloudrepos news. Alright, so we finished for this lab. So we can check this out. So cd dash so you can check like that. So you will see the news repository is right there in the kodekloudrepos repos directory. Alright, so we will check it out. So this lab is so easy. So we finished for this lab. Alright, so I will stop my lab right here, stop lab and say yes.